Alright, so this is for Jonathan Rose. Okay, so there's a couple issues with the piece as a overall piece. Um, and so the problem is the way you're showing the composition. You know, from what I'm looking at, you're trying to show that the guy in the green is chasing the girl in the red. So the wolf is chasing the Red Riding Hood. Um, which is fine, but the problem you have is that they look more like they're walking, and so it doesn't feel very, dynamic. It just feels very, still and calm, and like they're just walking through the woods. Okay, so this is the first issue I see with the composition. um, the second issue is the way the lighting is. um, your lighting on here is very, very bleached out. And so with the very bleached out lighting, you have to realize that you're going to get these real dark shadows, um, kind of everywhere else. And so what I mean by that is, if you're going to kind of see this, your dark shadows are going to be on the opposite sides of this character. Very, very little is going to pop out. Um, and so that's just from a kind of a bland standpoint of this character, like so. And then that's going to lead, if you've got this angle here, that's going to lead, this is a darker um, piece here, but because the sun is reflecting it, it won't be as dark. But so what you need to do is you need to figure out how you're going to illuminate, with the lighting sources that you have. Um, and in all reality, this is the way it would be as far as the trees and everything would be like that. So basically, what happens is your trees are going to start popping out as well. Especially the ones in the foreground are going to pop out a lot more. And so, that's, I think, the biggest issue you have is you just didn't. I don't think you planned it enough as far as composition and as far as lighting and things like that. Um, because a low light like this is going to cause this whole river, even though it's iced up, it's going to cause a huge reflection. So one of the things that's going to happen is you're going to see a lot of this reflection on this light here. Oops, sorry. Um, you're going to see a lot of this reflection here, which is going to be kind of a screen mode. Um, and so a lot of this is going to just dissipate because it's the way you have your light source, how bright your light source is, versus um, versus the stuff you have underneath it. I mean, this is very reflective, so this will just kind of, the snow is going to reflect light, the water is going to reflect light, so all of this is going to just bleach out this light. And to fix this, what I would tell you is you really want to um, change your lighting source. Instead of like this high noon lighting, I would definitely pick a more bleached out look. I would probably tune down the lighting. Let me just get rid of this. I would probably, let's see if we can change some things here. I would definitely take, and with the reds, being sunlight and stuff like that, I would pull out some of the more reds in there. And then with the blues, I would pull some of the more blues out in there. Um, Let me pull some of that out. And then with the greens, I would probably, lower the green quality. And that's going to start giving it uh, more of a sunset feel. And then with that sunset feel in there, then what you want to do is you want to kind of get the darks from here and start pulling. I don't like this one, so I'm going to jump this. I would start pulling some of the other aspects in here of, the, you know, put the shadows in there, put the, especially with this in here, I'd put a little bit more of the shadow going on, especially these here. You can get that nice blue and get a couple of these, silhouettes um, of these trees and stuff up here, especially in this area, to just slightly pop out the silhouette of the background, and then the trees here. This is weird lighting too in the building. Maybe just something like that to kind of separate the buildings. But start getting definition of the background a little bit more instead of having the light bleached out. I think is going to help you from that standpoint. I think it's going to help you quite a bit. Especially with, let's put this up here, especially with putting, you know, um, the trees and things like that. Especially if you have the water, probably want to do some sort of water brush. Um, getting that real bright, um, you know, bright reflections there. I'd probably even do that as probably an orangish color, type of thing. So that is going to help as well. But, that's going to make it more dynamic. And then, make the house look kind of lived in. I would probably tell you to, oops, wrong brush. I'd probably tell you that you want to do some sort of I would put in some smoke here, and that smoke is going to give it a little bit more action feel, that type of thing. And so those are things that you can kind of do to just kind of add a little bit more dynamic information to your scene. But I think a bit more pre-planning, especially with these characters, as far as your basic light source. If you wanted more of an action feel, you want her, both of them kind of running through the forest instead of, they feel like they're just walking together. Um, and there's a trap, but it's not set by her because it's so many separate elements. Um, and so changing the composition, I think, would have solved a lot more of this when you're going on with this. But you know I think that's a better composition here than what you had prior, where it's just everything is so bright and so fixed. Whereas this, you've got much more of that feeling of the sunlight starting to come in with the coolness of the land and things like that. So I think that's where I would tell you to kind of look at, to kind of start doing the adjustments. All right, I hope that helps.